Hello again, back on site. We've gone back to the job I was doing a couple of weeks ago. We've had a few things happening. We've obviously got no lights in here, so I put a full ceiling in. This is the bathroom. I ripped all the bathroom out, thermal boarded the walls. The clients decided they wanted to tile floor to ceiling, and because this wall was in such a bad mess, we decided to put construction board over it. And the construction board's quite handy because it's got thermal properties as well, so I'll keep the heat in as well. We're not going to do this wall because that's not too bad, that wall, that can tile onto that. So I've just left this gap here for the bath to go in, and I'll drop the thermal board down on top of the bath, helps it seal. We're going to have a we're having a cabinet with a sink in it there, and we've got a new loo arriving today, hopefully, along with the bath. Once the bath's in, I can finish off the construction board onto it, and then the tiling can start. Right, we go into the lounge. I've had to pull the floorboard up because I need to get hot and cold supply to go upstairs in the proposed bathroom up there, but there's nothing I can get to in there. It's all inaccessible, so this is where the pipes come out, hot and cold, and they were the feeds to the bathroom I've just removed. So what I've done, I've fitted two 3/4 inch pipes up a boxing, and they go all the way up to the 3rd floor, so they can be connected into the hot and cold running through there, not the hot, so I followed it from the heater. Now what we need is I'm going to have to tee off here for the sink, so these didn't need to be that long. The sink's going in, there's going to have a corner sink here, but what we might have at the moment, I'll show you more upstairs, I'll drop off to that in a minute. That sink's not going to be used. We're going to have the loo, the old loo's going to go here, and the soil pipe is going to go out through the wall there. We've got a couple of options with the soil pipe. So it might go in this boxing. At the moment, if we go around to the kitchen, there's plans being drawn, so I don't know how much we have to stick to the plans. So we've got to speak to the architect. But at the moment, it's going to come out here, drop down the wall. The other loo is here, so that will have to pick up onto it. Then it goes down to the ground, about where that gully is, but that's all going to have to be dug up to get to the drain. There's a drain under that chair. So if we have the waste coming down there, we're going to have to put a 40mm pipe out through the wall going to the waste, which isn't really very nice. So if we have the waste in the boxing, it will come out here somewhere and then go across and down. But we won't have any 40mm pipe going into it, because that can tap into it as it comes down the boxing. Hello again. We're carrying on now with the job that I started on the video before last. This is where the bathroom was ripped out. We've now got the construction board fitted all round. This is the windowsill. It's just waterproof MDF, 25mm thick. That's glued in place. It gives them a shelf now. Before it was sloping, you couldn't get anything on it. This wall's not been done because the wall's quite good. It's going to be okay to tile to. We're going to get floor to ceiling tiles. So the bath's in position. The plumber's going to come and put the waste and taps on it. The tiler's going to come and tile the whole room down to the bath, and then we can fit the sink and the loo, and then that's this job done. The waste pipe, we've decided to bring it inside the building. This boxing was already here. I've managed to get the pipe in it and the hot and cold running upstairs, and the boxing's only be slightly bigger than it was before. So at the moment I'm drilling a core hole through granite. It's bloody stiff, that is. So I'm just letting the core bit cool down a bit. So once the hole is made through the wall, this will have a 90-degree bend go out the wall, and then a 90-degree bend on the outside that will run along under there. And this waste, I'll have to drill another hole through the wall so the waste can go out the wall, and that will go down to the drain, and this one will tee into it with a T-piece. And then there'll be a vent at the top going through the attic into a roof vent. So yeah, it's just plodding about doing, drilling the hole. It's getting there. That's about probably an hour. We're about a third of the way through now. We've got some thermal board now, just to, I thought it was sticking that over the edge, not much, but it's all we only need 3 sheets to be cut down. One there, and one there. They've asked me to insulate the attic whilst we're up there, which it's summer, we're July, it's roasting. I'll have to wait for a cold day, a rainy day, and do it then, because it'll just be horrific at the moment doing that. I've had to cut an access panel. We'll go upstairs and show you what I've done. So the 4-inch soil pipe runs all the way up. So yeah, we're not that much further out than the boxing was originally. And I think that's going to be a much better job than having the pipes on the outside. Right, so I've actually got the pipe bent, and it runs along the inside of the bathroom. It comes out there. So the loo is going against this wall here, I think it is. So it'll probably get, because this will be the back of the loo here. So we'll probably have the pipe going out a 90-degree and put a boxing around that, just to conceal it, and draw it into that one. Right, there's going to be shower going here, and I guess a sink going here, and then we're going to have a boxing for the waste to run all the way around. It can't go out into there because of the window. It can't make its way through. So the boxing's going to have to run surface, the pipe's going to have to run surface, then go through once I get past the window, and then we'll bring them in and join them onto the soil waste. And this soil waste, we'll put a T in it, and then we'll have a 3-inch pipe that's going to run up into the attic, and then we'll put a vent pipe on it through the roof. Right, at the moment, you can't really see much up here. For some reason, there's 2 joists that are the different timber to the rest, and they're pretty badly cracked and damaged. So I'm going to double them up. I've got some 6x2 or 150x50 to bolt along the sides, just to strengthen them up, to keep them going. This was a temporary access to get in so I can insulate. So the insulation now is going to go between the joists rather than the rafters. It's got some thin stuff on the rafters, but there's not a lot of it. So I'm going to put 150mm between the joists, and that stops any sweating and condensation. And we're going to bring it, this was lath and plaster, but it's now been replaced with plasterboard. So the back of it's nice and smooth. So once I get in the attic, I can push the insulation down as far as I can, trying to insulate the sloping part of this roof as well. And that way, it will give it a nice cosy room. I'm not going to be able to get to here. This is definitely lath and plaster, and you can see it. That is about to fall down. That is. But I hate lath and plaster. Right, so whilst we're in the attic, we'll be able to get to this part of the room as well, and these sloping ceilings. I don't know. Sounds like plasterboard. Hopefully it will be. Right, so I'm just going to keep drilling the hole downstairs, then I can attach all these bits. I don't want to connect them all up yet because I might find it's easier to connect the bottom and then bring it up and connect up to the top rather than connect the top and have the pipe in the right place and not be able to move at the bottom. Yeah, we've still got the hot and cold feeds coming up. I've just moved them out of the way. So where we've got the pipe coming out, we're going to have to get it, might have to take a bit of this out to get it as far over as possible, because we're going to have a 50mm waste pipe coming down and then bossing into the, that's what I didn't want it to do, bossing into the soil pipe. Yeah, so the waste will go down, that'll be for the shower and for the sink. Right, let's carry on with the hole. Right, we're in the attic and we're having a look at the rafters. This job's evolving. It seems to be the bathroom turned into fitting another loo and redoing the other bathroom, and now we're in the attic. Always away. So, I've got this rafter here is very split and old. It looks like a totally different timber to the rest of them. So what I've done is I've cut a 6x2. I'm going to bolt it. There's a tie-in piece going across there, so I'll have to bolt it to the rear side of the rafter, and I'll bolt it through. So I've cut the angle at the top. I've done it so it's the longest I could get in the attic. I couldn't get it any longer than that. In fact, I had to cut 2 inches off because it wasn't going in otherwise. So that will brace it up to where the tie bar is, which basically is where it needs all the strength. So I have got 2, but the rest don't seem to be too bad. I mean, this one's got a couple of splits in it. I might just stick it on that one. Right, let's get that in. What I need is a couple of clamps to hold it in place, and then screw it, and then I can just drill and bolt it. All right, this one was another one that was particularly bad. So yeah, I've doubled up that one. I've put 2 bolts in. I've drilled the other holes. I'll just go get some more bolts. I'll get some slightly short ones. These are just ones I had. And here's the one, the other side. This is unbearable up here. It is 20 to 10 in the morning and I'm sweating my nuts off. It's so hot. So that's it. I thought I'll do this first thing and I can get out of here, get back downstairs, carry on with the pipe work. Slightly different job today. This is Saturday, my day off, but not really. This is a bathroom where I started doing it some time ago, embarrassed to say. So we pulled the bath out, put a shower tray in, full size shower tray with a fixed screen, so we don't have a door to open and close. And it's sealed all the way around, which is quite handy. This is the tile backer board. So what my job is, what I've been doing today is trying to get the adhesive off. It's quite annoying and time consuming. So once that's off, excuse me, we can carry on with I call it respotex because that's what the trade name used to be of it, but it's actually shower board, I think it's called, and it just, you get a little joint where it's, you put sealant in it, and then they sort of clip together. It's like the flooring. So I need to cut out where the window is. But I need to put a piece on here. What we're doing is, it's going to have this shower board on the horizontal as well. So I need to find out the little beadings you get to see how much I might have to put this piece on first and then cut this the same height as the thickness of the bit that goes on there, just to make it neat. Once it's got all the beading around it, it'll look nice. And here, we're not sure where the sink's going yet, so obviously we want to keep it as far this way as possible. So once the lue's back in, we can work out where the sink's going, then I can sort this plumbing out. So it's all new plumbing from the shower up to this point here, but I think there's a bit of a blockage around here because there has been issues with the shower drains. Lovely when you first go in there, but it starts backing up when you've been there for a long time. So I think there's a bit of a blockage in the pipework. So I'll cut this out and replace it with new stuff. Yeah, so there's hundreds of nails on the floor. I don't know what, it's like U-clips. Oh, these are just normal nails. So I've got to pull all these out. There's loads of them. I've got some new flooring to go down, some underlay. I dry lined the ceiling because it had like plastic soffit up there. It looks awful. And there was 4 lights, so I've just pulled one through at the moment. There's little marks where the others go. And there's an extractor fan up there, so I need to drill a hole and put a vent there. But because I dry lined it, this has just had 2 really thin coats, really watered down paint, just to soak into the fresh plasterboard and all the filler that was on it. So that's looking quite flat and nice now, so I can give it a proper coat of paint. I want to do that before I put the floor down, and then I can clean up the bits. Because it's so watered down, the paint, it just goes everywhere, up your arms mainly. Yeah, and then I'm going to continue this along around the door and then panel this side, so I'll just have to disconnect the towel rail from the wall and squeeze the board behind it. And there's a socket down there which I'll have to cut round. So that's all pretty easy, straightforward. Once I need to get the ceiling painted, the floor down, shower board against the wall, then I can put the loo in and the sink, and then I can leave it for another 14 months. No, I won't leave it that long. Right, let's get on with it. Yeah, these are turning into an absolute nightmare. You can see here, they're little wire staples. This side isn't too bad because they are coming out. Around the toilet, they're just snapping because they're rusty. So, there's so many of them as well. So I'm just getting out what I can. The rusty ones that snap, I'm just going to, because they've snapped, I can hammer them in or hammer them flat. I've got underlay going under the flooring, so it will take up a bit of the, you'll have a bit of giving it. Alright, that's denailed, flattened. I've been right over it with the scraper, make sure there's nothing high sticking up. I've hoovered it, but I'm going to give it another hoover before the underlay goes down. I think I might take this plasterboard off and replace it with new plasterboard or 1/2 inch ply or MGF. Then I can sort the boxing out later. That way I can get the flooring right underneath. I've just given the ceiling another coat. It's still drying, but that looks much better. That was dry lined. I'm not a painter. That was dry lined, so I filled it, sanded it, filled it again. There's a mark there for the other light. There's an extractor. I've got measurements written down to go back through the foam, and there's another light up there, the connector. So yeah, I had to get the ceiling done before I could start the floor because I didn't want to get any paint on the new floor. So once that might need a little bit of touching up, but I think that's pretty much there. That's had 3 coats, 2 really thin ones, and a decent normal size coat. So I've got paint everywhere. That'll come off no problem. Right, so on with the floor. I've let the ceiling dry for a bit. Looking lovely now. Now it's all dried in. So I've just used the scraper, set over the floor, make sure there's nothing sticking up. I've hoovered it again. Now I'm going to put the underlay down. No, I'm going to take that bit of plasterboard out. Right, that's the underlay down. It's really thin. Normally it's got a bit of sponge or something, a bit of give, but this is what they recommend to use with the flooring that I'm putting down. So they know more. So I'm going to start this side because you have to leave an expansion gap. I'm going to slide it under the panelling So there'll be expansion gap, but there will be no gap that you can see. And I'm going to keep it tight against the door tread. So in theory, the expansion should all go this way. It can expand every way, apart from that way, but if it expands, it'll just push that one. Right, and it's not a big room, so there shouldn't be much expansion. I might have to get my dirty tool just to cut the bottom of that shower panel off. But I'm starting this end, so I might as well get a few sheets down. Right, that's the first piece going in. So what I did was I turned this board upside down and put a start fire. A multi-saw, rested it on the underside of this board and cut off the bottom of this so it's nice and like fit. Obviously I'll go around everything with a bit of sealant afterwards. But this is a butt joint, and that's got to stay a butt joint. This can expand and contract, and this can expand and contract underneath, and you won't see a gap because it goes under another 20mm there. But this is a tight fit, so we want this to stay where it is, and the board to expand and contract everywhere else. And it does move, but it's a small room, so it's not going to move a great deal. If you do a big bedroom, don't leave enough expansion gap, you get eruptions in the middle. You can get the boarding and it'll start lifting off the floor because it's pushing in with temperature changes. So yeah, it's really important to leave a gap. And I hate beading. I hate it when you have to put beading around to cover the gap. So I like to put the skirting over it, or like this, we'll have the plinth that goes down. We'll cover it, cover the gap. The respotex, the shower board, will cover the gap on the edges. So now the next one, I'm just going to cut the same amount off here, off the next board, and slot that one in. And then the final one's going to be a bit more technical because we've got the heated towel rail pipe, so we'll cut around that. Right, we've got it down. So we've got a gap. There's a bigger gap under that tile, so it's got plenty of room to move that way. It's got plenty of room to move that way. We've got 5mm along there. So for a small area, there's no way it's going to move that much. These bits here, I had to cut out, so I'll cut out like triangles. And what I'll do is once everything's settled, I will glue it to the board either side, so it can all move together. Same with this one. Yeah, so now I need to put the panel, but I think that's enough for this video. Oh, that's what I was going to say. These brackets, I think the woman will have to give it a clean up and make sure it comes up all right. Because if she's going to change it, it's best to change it before we put I don't want to drill holes in the shower panel and then decide it's going to be changed because we've got holes in the wrong places then. But these are adjustable brackets, so what I'll do is undo the brackets, I'll slide the panel behind it, bond it to the wall, and then refix the shower rail to it. I mean, that'll probably come up, it's not too bad. Right, so yeah, there's not a great deal left to do now. This is 3:45. I've sort of had to go off and get some tools, backwards and forwards. Yeah, it's probably 5 hours in this. A lot of that was taking the nails off the floor. But yes, looking good.